So I interviewed a family friend named Brooke Davis. I've known him for a while. He runs a specialty advertising business. And so what he mainly does is he'll take water bottles or t-shirts or pens, really anything, and he'll print the company's logo on it or something else that the company wants, and he'll sell those to them. So he's kind of like the middleman in products like that. And he's been super successful. And the quick story of his business, he's been doing it for about 30 to 35 years. He started when he was 24 years old. And he had the benefit of his father doing the same business. And so he actually worked as a young kid all the way up till he was 24 in his father's business. And so he knew, everything that he pretty much needed to do to get the business rolling. And what also helped with that is, he could reach out to his dad. He had older brothers too that worked in the business. And so if he ever had any questions or needed anything, he could always just reach out to them and get their advice. They also helped out with office space too when he first started. So the startup costs were really small. He just rented from them. He actually didn't go into any debt and hasn't been in any debt throughout the whole life of his business. He was I guess he was in debt for the first 6 months, but it was just he used his own money and kind of, I guess, paid himself back. And so he didn't take out any loans. But after 6 months, he was already making a profit. And he was able to grow the business just because of his hard work. He would have to cold call businesses, he'd knock on their doors, he would call them on the phone. And that's how he would get his business, and he was able to be profitable just within his first year. But one thing that was super interesting is that he has never ever hired an employee throughout the whole 35 years until this past year. He actually hired his kid, and so now his kid's working for him. But yeah, he didn't ever develop a team around him. He didn't hire employees. He just really had his dad or his brothers to kind of ask questions when he just barely first started, but he was on his own very, very fast. And so the main keys to success that he was saying is that be careful with debt. Just like COVID this last year and a half, hard times happen. And so he says avoid the debt because that can put you under during the hard times. He said don't lose perspective. You can't just be only work. You have to balance your family and stuff like that. But the main thing, like I kind of mentioned earlier, was hard work and passion. He said he would work hours on end when he first started to build up that client base. As an entrepreneur, you're self-employed. You can't just go to work, clock in, clock out. You have to actually find the money, find the cash flows. And so he says passion is the most important thing for a successful business. And we've actually learned that. And so that's been nice to kind of help reaffirm by interviewing an entrepreneur. And so some of the important concepts I've learned is that the main thing is that entrepreneurship, the path isn't always the exact same and straight. We've listened to a lot of presenters who, they hired on this team, they get the right fit to help grow their business, but Brooke was able to make tons of money just working as the only employee for his business. He did everything. And so advisors and mentors are very important, but with my oatmeal business that I want to do, it's nice to see that, I might not know everything. I won't know who to hire if I want to expand or anything. But it's nice to see that just with passion, you can actually go a long way just by yourself. And so it's put more confidence just in me and seeing what I'm able to do. And so, yeah, that's the main thing I got, just the passion. One other quick thing that he said was he competes with himself instead of competing with his competitors because he doesn't like stepping on their throats, but that's been a way to keep him motivated, is that he holds himself to a high standard. And so that's what I want to be doing in my business. And I'll be staying in touch with Brooke. I've known him since I was a little kid, and he's one of the main reasons that I wanted to go into entrepreneurship. And so I really enjoyed doing this interview with Brooke.